Hi, good morning.
Hello.
Good evening for yours, your side.
Good evening. Oh, good morning from your side. Yeah. How's everything there?
All good, good weather.
Oh, yeah, it's
Raining.
rainy season.
Hmm.
How's Corona report?
Corona is better now, but yes, anyhow, the India is waiting for the third wave
Oh,
because people are crazy and going out and having fun.
it's after 2 months, no. So they are like, oh my God. And then
Huh.
population is the biggest factor.
Yeah, but the point is, people are also impatient. They are like, okay, let's move out.
True.
There's a long time that they have been inside house.
It's like everywhere. Even here also, restrictions are
Mm-hmm.
there, but people want to just roam around.
Ah, true.
Hi everyone. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
How is everybody?
Yeah, good,
Good.
great. How are you?
Good. Good. Okay, so let's wait for 1 or 2 more minutes, then we'll start.
Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Any doubts from any previous session?
So far is clear because whichever book you suggest, I'm just going through that also. So
Mhm.
I'm taking a few things from that side, but most of the thing from your side.
Okay, good. So, yeah, that was going to be my next question. That is your self-study going on?
Yes, yes. I found that you told me na yoga Katipa
Yeah.
Pradipika Bihar School.
Mm-hmm.
That one, then Sutras of Patanjali, then Asana, Pranayam, and Mudras. That's also from Bihar School.
Yeah.
And then this 200 hours manual.
Mm. Okay. Good. Yeah, Asan Pranayam Mudra Bandh is a good book if you want to for Hatha Yogic practices.
Mm-hmm.
All the techniques are given. So yeah, you'll find that
Yeah, it's a
online.
detail. Even means technique one, technique two, technique three for beginners, intermediate, and advanced. So that's a
Mm.
good thing actually.
Yeah.
Is when we teach our students, we teach as per their ability, like
Mm.
a beginner group only, because most of the foreigners, they know about yoga, but mostly they think yoga is like, oh my God, something,
Mm.
why we
Yeah,
have to go
definitely.
yoga,
Mm.
it's like boring.
Yeah, that is there. But that book is very good. Like even Saloni ji, Anuradha ji, you guys can also download this one, Asan Pranayam Mudra Bandh. You'll be able to find it easily. And yeah, that's for your self
Yeah,
study.
what is the name of the book?
I think
Uh,
we didn't discuss about it last time, did we? Or I don't remember. Like
Yes,
I have not written it somewhere.
I
What?
attached also one book, I think, on chat box
Acha,
also.
the one you okay, I downloaded it, yes.
Can you please
name-
write the name in the chat box? Actually, my network is not proper. I'm not able to hear you guys properly.
okay, yeah, I'll just write it down.
You attach Patanjali Yoga Sutra.
Yeah,
I
one.
suppose.
I'll see if I can attach these two also.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. I've written it in the chat box. Okay. So let's begin to discuss.
Yeah,
Okay. Everyone.
I'm attaching that asana pranayama and mudra one. So if
Great.
anybody wants, they can download.
So back and neck straight. Gently close your eyes. And start observing your breath. Natural flow of your breath. And begin to relax your body and your mind. Now begin to deepen your breath. Inhale deeply. Then hold for 2 seconds. And then exhale. Go at your own pace, making sure that your inhalation and exhalation is equal. Prepare yourself mentally for chanting Om 3 times, followed by 3 Shanti. After your next exhalation, inhale deeply for Om. Om. Shanti.
Shanti, Shanti.
Just relax. Join both your palms together in front of your chest and rub both the palms together. Close your eyes and very slowly, while blinking and looking at your palms, looking up your eyes, come back with a smile. And namaste to everyone. Let's begin today's session. So, yesterday we talked about the various qualities in a person which do not support the sadhana. and today we are going to discuss about the qualities in a sadhak which support his or her sadhana. So yesterday all of us wrote down the 6 virtues. Yeah. So let's start understanding why each and every one of them is like so important to develop when you're going on your yogic sadhana. Okay. So see this thing, there is one thing that you really need to understand. When anybody comes into the practice of yoga, they need a very strong reason to come into all of these practices. Okay. So because you must have seen in a lot of situations, like the situation will be same, but people react in different ways, and you chose to react in this way when you uh, when yoga attracted you, and this is also because of, this must be because of some past things also that you must have done, that you got attracted to yoga as a way of, trying to understand the world and everything around you. Yeah. So this path, like, it's very boring. So if I compare it to someone who is going out partying, yeah, same situation, but someone chooses to go out and party, someone chooses to sit at home and watch Netflix, and you guys chose to come into yoga, yeah, and do yogic practices. So it's a very boring path, and because it is so boring, it's very hard to stick to this path. Yeah. So we need certain qualities in ourselves to stick to that path. You can work on developing all of these. Like earlier, we talked about the things or qualities that will stop you from your going progressing on your path. So you can observe in your day-to-day life, like whenever some situation comes up, or generally you're dealing with something. So see which factor is coming in more. Okay, and try to decrease the ones that become obstacles, and work on the ones that are like going to aid you and support you. So it's very boring, it's hard to continue on this path, and hence, like, but still there is a very strong desire to continue on this path. So I'm going a little bit off topic before starting the topic. There is a talk by Osho called Thoda Aur Aage Chalo. I don't know if I mentioned this before. So in that he says that suffering is a very important, I can say, tool when you are going to start on your path of spirituality. So you can choose. You can either just remain with your suffering and choose to believe that there is nothing beyond suffering, because eventually you will reach to this conclusion that there is suffering. Okay. But you can choose to stay there, or you can choose to move ahead, because once you recognize that there is a problem, then you can start working on it, and begin to improve your mind and body, so that you can come up to a stage where you can actually reap the benefits of whatever you are doing in your day to day life. Okay. So it's very important that you work on these qualities. And how do you reduce the ones, like, this is a very common question that generally comes up. How do you reduce the obstacles, or the bad qualities? How do you remove them, or make sure that they don't disturb you a lot? So the easiest way, the simplest way to do this is actually focusing on what you want. So after we discuss the sadhak tattva, that is what you want. So focus on that instead of focusing on getting rid of what you don't want. Okay. So this generally happens. Sometimes we are too focused on what we don't want. So we see that those things tend to increase in our life. And for a common person, like in common sense or common understanding, we should actually be focusing on what we want, because that is what we want. But we are busy fighting in our lives, focusing on what we don't want, and then those things increase, and we are just like, I said so, this will happen. you know so start focusing on the sadhak tattva, the badhak tattvas will themselves those qualities, because when you throw light on something, the darkness by default goes away. Yeah. So that this is a like similar analogy I can draw. Like once you start working on your sadhak tattva, the badhak tattvas will themselves be eradicated. You don't have to focus on them. You just need to know that okay, these things are there, and that the like some days it's very hard to just practice those things. So it will help you to be more aware and recognize where you what is happening to you. So Badhak Tattva help you with that to recognize, but you don't have to be stuck there. You have to move from that. You have to recognize. You have to accept, and then you have to move towards the Sadhak Tattva. Okay. So the first one that we have is enthusiasm. Okay. Now yoga, very boring. Yeah. So first few days it feels very good, yeah, that you are moving your body and everything, but eventually you get used to it. So you're just like, okay, now the newness or the charm is somewhere going away. At least a little bit it goes away. So that is where your quality as a student comes in, where you show enthusiasm towards a particular thing and say that no matter, like if I'm like just repeating the same thing again and again, I'm repeating that same thing, it doesn't matter. I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up with the same enthusiasm that I showed on my first day, and I'm going to practice it with that dedication. Once you're able to change your attitude or develop this attitude, then you will see your practice, the same practice is now like giving you more benefits, because you're showing up for yourself. Yeah. That is what I think, that is what yoga is all about, showing up for yourself. So when you keep that enthusiasm, the first day enthusiasm is equal as the last day enthusiasm, or till the time you are practicing, that will enhance the quality of your own experience. That is why it's important. Like sometimes we understand enthusiasm as okay, enthusiastic hona chahiye. तो वो चाहिए वाली चीज that will get eradicated, that it's supposed to be, that thing will be eradicated, and it will naturally come to you once you start showing up, yeah, with that level of dedication. And it is a very commonly noted thing that people start with a lot of uh, zeal, but they end up losing that, and hence a lot of practices, they end up leaving a lot of practices in their life. So develop this every day. You have to develop this. When you come on your mat, smile. Yeah, feel that you know, feel that you're going to do something which is really good for you, and um, just I don't know. Everyone has their own ways of like developing their enthusiasm towards their practice. Maybe you like candles, so you can light a candle, and then around your mat set up your space and show up with enthusiasm, and you will see you're able to continue with that same practice more effectively when you do this. Okay, so this was our first thing, enthusiasm, which leads us to our second virtue, which is perseverance. Once you show up for your practice like with enthusiasm, perseverance will follow. Why? Because now you are working on that same practice every day, and you're very happy about it, you're very enthusiastic about that practice. So why would you leave that practice? Yeah. Now that same practice is giving you so much energy that you are going to show up no matter what happens. So suppose like, okay, so Rishikesh, it's very cold in the winter, so in the morning you don't feel like waking up. That happens. Yeah, when we are in a very cold environment, it so happens that we just want to lay in bed for at least 5 more minutes, and we're just like, oh, this blanket, I love it. Yeah, but no, at that point of time, your enthusiasm for your practice is what is the thing that will support your perseverance, your ability to show up every day on your mat and practice all the things that are good for you. Yeah. So this all of these will go simultaneously, they will support each other, and also what will happen is they will develop with time. So you can maybe choose one which is easiest for you out of all these six, and you will see that all others are being supported as the time passes. Okay, because you cannot leave any one of them behind. All of them will follow, like the schools of yoga. When we will do the schools of yoga, then we will see that okay, the starting point is different, but now sorry, starting point is different, but eventually everything merges. Yeah. Okay. So next we come to discrimination. Now, as a yoga student, when you start practicing yoga, and with eventually with time, what will happen is that you will start developing some sense of understanding of what is going on, and you will see that even like the choices that you're making now, or the decisions that you are taking in your life with regard to certain situations, all of that has started changing somewhere. You're taking a different take on the same situation. That also happens a lot of time, yeah, as we regularly practice something. So your discrimination starts developing. Okay, so this develops also with your practice again, and you need to have this before you start your practice also. Some level of discrimination is there. If you have come in yoga, there is some level of discrimination. Maybe you don't recognize it consciously, yeah, but it is there that you chose this practice out of everything that was out there in this world. It's such a big world, and there are so many things that you could have done, but you chose to come on the path of yoga. So there was some discrimination which already existed in you guys, that okay, now I'm going to pursue this. Maybe this is the thing that I was looking for. Yeah. And as you practice, this develops also. So then what starts happening is, so initially when a yoga student comes, like some student comes to learn yoga, then food food is a very big thing, and the food changes. So beginner level wants to run away, yeah, because food is not very tasty, or you know, in like for meditation they say okay, don't use garlic, don't use onion. So person is very sad. Okay, now what, these things added taste to my food, now they have taken it away. When I go in spiritual practices, I'm only getting vegetarian food, there is no non-veg, and I love non-veg. So what starts happening is initially beginner level will struggle a lot with these things. These minute changes will um, impact them a lot. But as your discrimination develops, you must have seen a lot of people who used to like make unhealthy eating choices, but once they come into practicing any form of yoga or any form of any spiritual practice, basically they tend to leave a lot of things. A lot of foreigners who come from outside, they come to India, and eventually they end up becoming vegetarian. Why? Because initially it was hard for them also, but eventually their practice supported this. Then what starts happening is कि मन नहीं करता, as you say in Hindi, अब मन नहीं करता वो खाने का. I don't feel like eating that. I have no desire for that. So as your discrimination develops, you tend to leave the things which are not benefiting you. This discrimination develops, and it develops very fast, because once you start observing yourself, your life, everything that has happened around you, you know, first we start introspecting. You चल क्या रहा है, क्यों हो रहा है ऐसा, these questions come up. Yeah, so then you start seeing all of these things. Okay, this is harming me, this is not harming me, this is good for me, this is not good for me. So when this thing starts happening, understand that your discrimination is developing, and with your practice, notice and develop this more and more. So leave behind things that don't serve you. It doesn't matter how many years you have given to something. Yeah. Or for how many years, like some people come and say, ma'am, hum bachpan se non-veg kha rahe hain. From our very birth, we are eating non-vegetarian food that is cooked in our house. So don't stick to those things just because, and when they come in yoga, they feel like leaving those things. So don't stick to certain practices or rituals or anything, in fact, not just rituals, anything that doesn't serve you anymore. Now you are also changing, you are also developing with yoga. So develop, embrace the new you. Yeah. Okay. So next we come to unshakable faith. Yeah. Any doubts so far? Like we have covered 3 points. In any of these, like any doubts or anything that comes up in your mind?
I feel without self motivation, you can't control your urge.
Hmm.
So if you want to go for yogic sadhana, also you need that self motivation, or your guru is that much capable to take you that path.
Hmm.
So otherwise, like a normal people, if you ask suddenly someone, okay, tomorrow onwards you have to start yoga, they will first look at you like, oh, what are you asking us? So we need to motivate ourselves as well as our students as well as our surroundings.
See, I would like to add to this. So tell me, everybody can unmute themselves and participate in this. So for me, like yoga is not about controlling. It's about gaining that control naturally. Like, so what do you have to say
Uh,
about this?
yes, I completely agree with you. After certain practices, awareness increases and consciousness also increases. What you said for the discrimination, same thing is happening. Like the way we talk with other and perspective also changes, and decision also has like changed a lot.
Mm, yeah, yeah, but it's not
And
control. Mhm.
yes. It's natural, I can say.
Mm,
No, you can control your desires with your practices, with your means philosophies, but you can't control someone else.
Yes. This is also true.
See, that is
That
what
is
I'm
not in
saying.
our hand.
That is what I'm trying to understand. When you said that you can control, so uh, as far as I have understood yoga, it's not about controlling. It's like it should come naturally to you. So what did you mean when you said like control करना है वाली बात जो आपने बोली?
नहीं कंट्रोल इन द सेंस मैंने कंट्रोल करने वाली तो ऐसी कोई बात नहीं बोली. My thing is that means if you talk to other person like about yoga, especially yoga, and when you talk to them about the Vedic tantras, sadhanas, so for a known common person is like, oh, I will go gym, I will work out for 1 hour, I will pump up my muscles. That is more effective than sitting and performing asanas.
Mm,
That's the general scenario.
mm,
Yes. So as guru, as like you are our guru, so your talk and your motivation motivate us. to walk on that path showed by you and your gurus, or maybe the person. It's not necessary person will be elderly. I always believe in teaching and learning concept. So why I'm saying teaching and learning concept, because sometimes your students also teach something unknowingly.
Yes. Yes.
That
Yeah, so same way when you are teaching us like six all these aspects, so you are just showing us that picture. Okay, this is the picture. If you walk on this path, you will achieve something, and that's for our positive uh, environment. If I will go for party, I will booze for maybe a whole night, and then tomorrow morning, oh, I have to go for yoga. That's not yoga.
hmm, yeah, that starts happening. This is the discrimination you develop, like
Yes.
with
Yes.
hmm, true. So I'll narrate a story from my life only,
Yes.
since since discrimination has come up. So when I started with meditation first, then I came into yoga. Meditation for yoga, meditation comes on later, right? Like it's the seventh limb. I did not practice any asanas and everything, so I came in yoga really like after a lot of time. So when I was doing meditation, I still remember, like, I left my job and everything at that point of time. So when I left my job, um, I took a lot of decisions in my life, like cutting off certain people. And actually, what happened was certain people cut me off. That also happened because I took very drastic measures to change my life. So it was very painful to see that. Like, it will be very painful for you guys also. Like, it tends to happen, like when we
I
start
agree.
making.
Once we start meditating, na, so the negative people or people who have adverse effects on us automatically start going away from us for XYZ reasons.
Yeah, yes, that
I can
happens.
relate
So,
with you.
so a lot of people who were close to me, including certain family members, okay, they left my life, like, and it was really shattering at that point of time. But eventually, like, now when I look back, I think that it was like for my own good only, like a cleansing process was going on. Like now I feel much lighter, and the people I have in my life, like, I can be very honest and authentic with them. So it helped me to grow, like when I meditated and made certain decisions. So the people who did not stick with me, uh, they like gave me a learning that, okay, you know, I thought that this person would support me, this family member would support me, but they didn't. So it was like a really big eye opener for me, like, okay. And that helped me to make better choices, like, because I have limited energy, yeah. So, and all of us do. So the people we invest in, like, uh, we are investing our time and energy. It's so much more than like money, I think. So when you get in these practices, you see that, okay, certain people will walk out of your life, but it is for your own good only. Like after you navigate through the pain and make peace with that thing, like eventually I was able to up to a certain point. So now when I look back, like I realized that, okay, it was for my good only, that because after say 5-10 years, if something would have happened and then I would have seen that, I would have been in a crisis and I would have seen those people leave, then that situation is really hard to deal with. So I'm happy that came before for me, like when I made conscious choices. So it's a very, like, I really believe that it's a very good test, like whenever you want to understand, like who like who is really loyal to you, or is really going to stick with you in your hard times, make a very crazy choice in your life. And then see how people react. Because the people who are going to like be with you, they're going to be like, they're going to come to you, try to understand why you are doing certain things, and eventually maybe they might have a little bit difficulty, like initially, in accepting, but eventually they'll come around because they'll see how happy you are. Like, so yeah, that's a personal experience like that I had uh, when I started.
I had similar kind of experience like you did when I started doing meditation and yoga together. So I think within 3 months, there were so many people who walked out of my life. There were so many people who walked into my life. So the same experience that people, that point of time, I felt really upset that, oh, why this person did this and did that. But after 3 months, I realized that thank God this happened. That person was draining so much energy and everything out of me.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure like all of you like now, because you are deepening your understanding of these things, you will also have similar experiences. That is why I shared this one, because it's very hurtful when it happens. Like, but once, because you have the tools now, yeah, to navigate through these things. So once you come to a place where now you have risen above that thing, then you see that okay, it was for my good only that those things happen. Yeah. So um I'll move ahead. Like our fourth thing that we have is unshakable faith. Okay, so when the talk of faith comes in, it's something that you cannot understand. Okay, so we logically try to understand a lot of things in our life. So like I recommended you so many books. Like every day I completed some topic and I was just like, okay, you can refer to this book, this book. So you can read all of those books. Like even I read, when I was studying, I read a lot of books because I was very interested in, okay, what is being said, why this, why that. So I was trying to look for things. But if you don't have faith in that thing, then you will see that mm, it's like something that somebody is telling us, and we are just like, okay, I understand, that is good for me, but you don't end up following it. So, like, that is where your faith in that thing comes in. When your faith will be very strong, when, okay, you are reading something and then you're implementing that, that thing will leave a mark on, because you cannot understand things logically. You can read all the books, you can try to understand what people tried to say about life, about everything that was going on. But um, the experience really counts for us somewhere. Like as human beings, experience has a higher place than logic. And you must have seen this. Like logically, we know that we should do yoga every day. Logically, we know that we need to show up every day. But practically, we are not able to do that. So when we talk of unshakable faith, this is the level till which it seeps down, because now you have faith that um, this is going to benefit you, and on so many levels, this is going to benefit you. That faith keeps your practice continuous. The faith in the practice, the faith in your guru. There are so many gurus out there, but you will find different people follow different gurus. They put their faith in different gurus, different gods. In Hinduism, you will see there are so many gods, but one you will personally resonate with. You will listen to some story and you will be like, okay, I really connect with that. And you start putting your faith in that thing. So that is what keeps you, that is what binds you and connects you to your practice. Like I would say, this is the point of connection. that you feel when you are in deep faith. You're just like, okay, if they're saying something, if your guru is saying something, or somebody you follow is saying something, तो try करके देख लेते हैं. Let's try. Yeah. And once you start trying, because it's like already there, the path has already, like so many people have walked on it and gained, reached their final goal, I would say. So once you start practicing, you see that, okay, this is coming true, this is also happening. Then you walk a little bit more. Then the next stop is comes over there. Okay, so the next station is over there. Then you start in that, like you start experiencing that. So then your faith also develops with time. Like it gets stronger and stronger. Okay, so your faith should, if your faith shakes in something, like suppose I'll take a very normal example only. Maybe I have a friend. Okay, so I have a lot of faith in that friend, but that friend does something which shakes my trust, my faith in that person. So what will happen is, eventually I will start cutting off from that person, because now my trust is broken. One thing is there, but my faith in that person is gone. And faith is one thing which can give power to even something that is non-living. Like when you will see someone who is worshipping God with so much devotion and faith, there is so much devotion and faith that that same stone, to when you try to understand through that person eyes, that stone is living for them, because that is how much faith and belief they have put into that thing. You must, all of you uh, must have some or the other example when it comes to this, because suppose like you believe in something and then suddenly you unbelieve in that and then you believe in the other thing, so you will see the other thing also starts coming true. Like first you believed in, say, opinion A. Okay, so you believed in that, then at a particular point in your life that thing stopped serving you, so now you changed your belief. Yeah, we change our belief system and we move to B. Okay, then you see that A is not working that much for you now, but B has started working for you. Why? Because your faith has that power. It's not that opinion. Everything is out there, everything exists out there. It's the thing that you put your faith into which gives you the most uh, beneficial results in your life. So once you put your faith into yoga, the practice, and that it's good for you and that it will finally lead you to your final goal, then it's a game changer. Basically, it will change your entire perspective about how you are practicing that same thing. Okay, then the next thing that comes in is courage. This is a, like when we talk of spirituality, courage is not generally talked of. Okay, perseverance, enthusiasm, okay, become sattvic, be of a very calm, peaceful nature. All of these things are talked of, but courage is not talked of. And it is one of the most essential elements in your yoga practice. Because if you don't have the courage, it takes a lot of courage to leave behind things that we are so used to, we are so familiar with. So, not only is it a peaceful path, it is a path which will lead you to your ultimate happiness, the bliss that we all talk of. It, it's also a path which will teach you what courage is, because you just cannot. Motivation is one thing. We need motivation to pursue a practice, but we also need courage. It is so hard to digest the reality that there is suffering in life. Suffering is the truth. Gautam Buddha also, Siddharth Gautam also said that suffering is, he said, Arya Satya. So universal truths. So one of them, he said that suffering is a truth of life. It is so hard to accept this. When you will talk to certain people in your life and you will say, you know what, like night conversation, you are sitting with friends, they are chit chatting, and you suddenly say that, you know what, there is only one truth, suffering. You will see people are not able to digest this. The fact that you can listen to this, digest this thing, gain an understanding of this thing, and then pursue a path which will get you out of this is a very courageous thing that all of you have. Because most people cannot. They just cannot. They're just like, okay, I will not, I do not agree. First thing that will come up is, I do not agree. Then they will say, if I get this, I will be happy. Then what happens is we get that thing. Then we are just like, okay, 5, 10 days we enjoy that thing. Then again, we come in that same cycle. So the happiness that you're seeing, you do not, most people do not see that it is leading to the other side of the coin, which is sorrow. So they think that that happiness is the goal. But you have to come out of this duality. That is the goal. The goal is very different from what is generally being talked of. It's rising above all of these things. So, courage, leaving behind a lot of things that you used to do. Courage comes in over there. Fighting for your own freedom. Courage. It's such an important element when you want to step into this practice. And you, all of these go in together. Your perseverance will be supported by your faith and courage and enthusiasm. Yeah. Because this practice requires that. If you want to be continuously doing something, then you will come across a lot of things that won't support you. But your faith will keep you going. That okay, now I have to go. Your enthusiasm will keep you going. Okay, now I have to go. So all of these things are intertwined and they will develop with each other and they develop very beautifully. Now you will be able to take decisions which are much more courageous. I've seen a lot of people who leave behind so much. Foreigners come to India. They leave behind their entire life and they settle in India. Requires courage. It sounds very cool, but it's not that hard, easy to do. Yeah. And I'll come to the last point. So our last point is um, avoiding the company of common people. Okay. So this one yesterday also we discussed the company that you have around you. It's very important that you keep a very like people around you who are there like are matching with what you want to pursue in your life so that you get a uh, forward push, like you are able to go ahead on that path very easily and at a fast pace. Why? Because if some people who do not support you are there in your life, they will pull you back, they will pull you down, and your attachment to them will also pull you down. So it's very important to avoid the company of people. Sometimes we like what we do is we want to fit in, so we hang out with certain people. We know that it's not good for us. It's not like okay, I'll just enjoy for 10, 15 minutes maybe and then I would feel like leaving, but we still hang out because we want to fit in. But be very mindful of where you are putting your energy and avoid the company of people who will degrade your life. Choose people who will enhance your life, who will support you on your way and be with you, not only support you. Sometimes what happens is we have a lot of people who support us, and that's good. But also try to choose people who are into these things, who walk on this path. You will see that your discussion with those people is going to be at a very different level, like than somebody who supports you, somebody who is walking on the path. will be able to have a conversation or a practice in that same state of mind. Both of you will be, or all of you will be in that state of mind. Yeah, so that really helps a person to progress on the path of yoga. I still remember, like, after our classes ended, we some people from my course, we used to practice together. So my normal college friends who I used to meet every Sunday, they used to come to my place and we used to practice together. Yeah, sorry that I just received a call, so I got unmuted. So yeah, I was saying this. So when we stopped having our normal daily practice classes, we made a group and we used to connect uh, over WhatsApp and everything, and we used to practice together. So that kept our practice very continuous. So on days when I didn't feel like waking up, my phone used to ring and my friend used to be like, okay, come on the mat, you're going to practice, you're going to practice for 1 hour, we'll just do this. And I used to wake up and start practicing. So they kept my practice continuous. So when you have someone in your life who is pursuing the same thing, then you will see they will add to your level of enthusiasm. They will give you motivation. You guys will wake each other up and be like, okay, no, today you have to practice. Today, I know that you are not up for this task. So I'm not going to leave you behind. Come along. Let's practice together. So it really supports. Basically, what I'm trying to say is it really helps you overall. Okay. So these are the 6 virtues that with time you will develop, and trust that you already have all of them in you, because if you're here, I'm telling you, you have all of them in you. You have taken courageous steps in your life, and you have had the level of enthusiasm, motivation, faith. All of these things are there within you. All you have to do is water that plant every day. If you water that plant every day, that plant will not go away. But if you do not provide that plant with the suitable environment, this might begin to fade off, because it's a matter of practice. It's a matter of how much you're putting in to that same uh, ritual that you do every day. Okay. So water that plant every day, take care of it, provide it like with good air, good water, good fertilizer, and you will see the plant blossom within a matter of only few days. Yeah. So any doubts from any of the things that we have discussed today?
Can you tell once again, being in the company, like yesterday's, one second. Difference between this being in the company of common people and avoiding the company of common people.
So being in the company of common people is not that you leave everything or everyone around you behind. It's just that the people who are making your life better, one thing is that, are either making your life better or supporting you. Those people should be kept in your life. But the people who are, you know, that they are going to pull you down, or they're going to stop you from, going ahead in your practice, those people you should eventually begin to leave behind. I'm not saying cut off everybody today, go and delete everyone's number who who you think is not going to support you. Like, I'm not saying that, but eventually we'll see वो छूटते जाएंगे. They themselves, those things themselves start to fade off in your life. So try to avoid their company. Why? Because they are not going to allow you to practice. And for a beginner, it's already very hard to stick to the practice. So if they have people around them, like if I have people around me who are like who love junk food. Okay. And I'm trying to follow something like that. I will see that junk food and I would want to eat that. And I will most probably end up doing that. Why?
I
Because
think once we start doing it now, we automatically attract those kind of people. And people who have been creating problems, they automatically, get away from us.
ये तो होता ही है.
I feel it's always depend to your mental status. Nobody, people try to force you, but if you have your willpower, definitely you will avoid those things.
Determination. Yes.
Determination. True.
Willpower or
matlab, yes, means you means I have a little example about myself. Means back in India, I had a few friends. They used to drink and smoke. They tried to force me, but I said I don't like. I don't want to drink. Once, twice, thrice, four times, and the fifth time they understood he's not going to drink, so better not to. I used to sit with them with my glass of juice or maybe a Coke, but no. After that, they didn't try. So it's entirely up to you how you are going to tell them. If you are going to tell them understanding manner or the yes, no means no. So nobody will force you.
See that, like I would say that in that sense, your friends have been really good and given you that kind of space and given you that kind of choice that you can be your authentic self and still exist with them. But you will come across a lot of people who don't do that.
Yes, means it's about life. Means life. You can meet so many peoples. You definitely few people are really means giving you that comfortness, and few people are like you seen them and you feel like uncomfortable. Okay, my God, this person is very negative, so better away from that person. So it's like it's all about your experience, how you are going to deal with them. And
But again, here you attracted those kind of friends. Like they understood what you're trying to say and they understood.
no, it's depend. See the environment. If you stay in that environment, definitely one or two people come to join your company. Now it's depend to you. Are you going to their way or they are coming to your way? So it's your motivation make them change, or their motivation make you change. So it's two-way business. Now how you are going to take that you have to think about.
Okay, guys. Yeah, I was going to say Durgesh ji joined, so let's end our discussion here. Yeah, and we'll like meet in the evening for our pranayam class.
We have very less time, so because never know when the Wi-Fi gonna shut. So quickly gonna wrap the session and quickly we're gonna start it. In between, if I lose the connection, it means that Wi-Fi is not working because there is no light. I'm giving on the classes on the generator is working, and we don't know how.
Okay, so I'll see all of you for the pranayam class. And Om Shanti to everyone.
Yes, thank
Om
you.
Shanti. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Om Shanti, guys. How are
Om
you?
Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Good.
Thank
How are
you very
you?
much.
We are good.
Lovely, lovely. So today we're not gonna, start with the prayer. We don't have much time. Never know when the session gonna end abruptly. So let's start the session where we left. We talked about all the Sapta Prakriti, right? 7 types of the personality we discussed about in detail. And we talked about it. Today we're gonna talk about it. That come to the Vikrit to our Vikrit state. So today is a wonderful, day for to learn about the how we're gonna control and bring the balance into our life. Okay. So write it down, the myth ahar. Myth ahar. I'll write it down for you. would be myth. Heart. So myth ahas, write it down and then I'll explain the literal meaning of it. The myth ahar, the literal meaning of the myth ahar, myth means sweet, ahar means food. So sweet food. One literal meaning, sweet food. Another meaning is diet, the balanced diet.
Balance what? Diet?
Yes, balanced diet.
Is there a network issue?
Thank you.